Today we have Amanda Maher, who is talking about the UK Technical Communications Awards. Amanda, I'm going to hand over to you. Thank you very much.
So I've been asked to do a talk about the UK Technical Communications Awards, and I'm just going to cover the process of applying and what to expect. So first of all, who am I? Funnily enough, you all know me, so that's good. I'm Amanda Maher, a freelance technical author. I'm a member of the ISTC, and I'm doing this because I applied for and won a merit award in the UK TC Awards for 2020. So the question is, why would you apply? I imagine people have come to this talk that they're kind of thinking about it, maybe mulling it over, and some of the good reasons to apply is because you will get your work reviewed by your peers, and that is so you will get experts to look over your work and to comment on it, which is amazing. When do you ever get that to happen? So so that's a really good thing, and you will get invaluable feedback as well from your application or your entry. And if you win, you will get an award that you can use. Your company can use it in their marketing. You can use it in your CV or your LinkedIn. This is what I use on my website. So I've got the little merit award and a little bit of blurb about my entry. Also, when you win an award, you get invited to write an article about the project for the Communicator Journal, which is a great experience if you haven't done it so far. And you will be joining past winners, which there are some big names, including IBM, Vodafone, Arm, Hewlett-Packard, Sky, and Experian. So there's some of the names I had a little look through the UK TC Awards site to look at past winners. When it comes to applying, I know this kind of sounds a bit strange, given that I'm talking to technical communicators, but you do need to read the rules. There are some rules about it being a current project. You can't go, oh, well, I did a really good project about 2 years ago. Can I put that in? It has to be current. And there's a couple of other rules. You don't have to be a member of ISTC to put some work forward, but there is a cost. And the cost for ISTC members is £50, non-members £90. I think you will invoice this after you enter, so you put your entry on, and then you get invoiced afterwards. So you don't have to have your credit card ready while you're putting your application in. And one of the other important things to remember is if you're putting forward something for a company that you work for or a client that you're working with, is to make sure you get their permission and that they're on board with the idea. Another thought that people have asked was, is it hard work? And well, it kind of a little bit. And you do have to think and reflect about your project, and you do have to then write that out. But this is a very good thing, I think. Often we work from task to task, and we don't stop and look at a project that's been completed. We will just go on to the next one and not reflect and not think about what went well or what didn't go well. So it's the process of reflecting on a particular project that you think is a good project and has gone well is a good thing, because you can then apply some of those things to future work. Other than that, it's not hard work at all. You enter an online form on the UK TC Awards website. There are some general questions about contact details, the title of the project, that kind of thing. And then there are 4 main questions actually about the project, and we'll go to them in a bit more detail. There is no download, I noticed, about these questions. I noticed when I was going through the process, I had to screen grab the questions and I put them in a Word document, and then I got the information I needed into that Word document, and then I went back online and put the information into the online form and submitted it. So that might be something that we could possibly look at streamlining a bit and tidying that process up a bit. So the four main questions that you're asked is description, production, distribution, and impact. One of the key things that you need to think about, obviously, you're all technical authors, you already know this, but make sure that you remember who your audience is. Your audience are volunteer judges. They're already busy with their own work. So what you're writing, keep it brief. Use bullet points, write in kind of note form, use lists where you can. This does not have to be an academic essay with references, etc. It just needs to be professional, succinct, and clear, and to save the judges time so they don't have to read through reams and reams and reams of information. Key thing you're doing is you want to clearly show how your solution solves the business problem. So going into the four main questions, the first section is the description of your project, and this basically covers the purpose, and this is what the brief of the project, and this is what you're going to be judged on. So the judges are gonna look at what you were aiming to, what the problem was, and how you were aiming to solve it, and this covers this. So include things like the scope of the project, limitations that you have. If you're stuck with software that they can't upgrade, or tools that they have to use because it's used to in other areas of the company, or standards that you have to adhere to, include all of those in. If you're doing an investigation into users, or interviewing subject matter experts, or you need to investigate any other kind of tools or techniques, include that in and explain why you were interested in using these tools, and give some information behind that. When it comes to obviously identifying your audience, include any work you've done on user stories or goals or any surveys, and include all. So use those findings when you kind of describe your solution and what you're expecting the project outcomes to be. The next thing you need to describe is actually how you completed the project. In this section, you want to kind of include how you did it, the team, the people who were involved, how you communicated, if you used any collaboration tools, why did you use them, how were they useful. Include things like if you needed to map out complex parts of systems, or in order to get an overall view, and how you did that, what software you use. If you had to flowchart processes to get a really accurate idea of how things work, how did you do it? Did you use software? Did you use Visio? Why did you use it? Because it was just there, or did you choose it for a particular reason? All those kind of things are really important, and show that you're thinking about how you're doing the work and doing it in an efficient way. Also, obviously, describe the creation process of the content. Do you have, are you doing it in drafts? Other departments having to sign things off and agree things? Did you have a test strategy? Do you have somebody who has not seen any of the instructions or the information that you're writing, sitting with the product and the instructions and seeing if they follow, and they can follow them and it works? And of course, did you get it done on time and within budget? And why? How did you do that? Another area, the third area, is distribution. This section explains how you deliver the project, how it was delivered to the audience, paper? Was it on in a booklet? Was it a leaflet inside the box with the product? Is it online? Is it video? Is it audio? Why did you make that choice of delivering it in that way? Include how you told the audience about the resources. Have you done a marketing plan to distribute it out? Or have you been doing it through social media? Have you signposted it through the product in any way? And if you've got any metrics on the project distribution, then include those as well, including, you know, number of online users that are going to be using it, or the number of copies printed, or the number of products sold. And the last thing to talk about is impact. And impact describes what has changed with the product or the company or the audience relationship as a result of this project. So if you've got any audience reaction, if you can do any surveys after the project, include that information. Also, you can describe the benefits to the organization. So individual departments might find benefits in different ways. You know, kind of sales department might suddenly say, oh, actually, we'd really like this. This is really useful for us to train our salespeople up, or ways that other departments have used the information, and unexpected ways as well. Include any metrics that you can as a result of the project. So if you found that support calls have gone down or sales have gone up, include all of those metrics. One of the key points with these 4 different sections is that you may not be able to answer all of these questions, and it may be that other team members have responsibility for these areas, and they may be the ones to write these or answer these different questions, you know, separate questions. You may answer some questions and other team members might answer others. So don't feel, although there's quite a lot of information here that you could put in, don't feel like you have to do it all. Certainly, if you have team members that are responsible, pass that information out. So once you've got all your information together, you're about to put it onto the online form. Remember that you can ask a fellow technical author to give you a sanity check, or you know, a work colleague. I asked one of my a fellow technical author, a friend of mine, to do a sanity check on mine. I did it at a much earlier stage when I was just starting to put it together, because I had absolutely no idea what kind of information I needed to be putting forward. And that was really, really useful to get their views and what they thought how I should be presenting it. So taking that all on board, then you click submit. Woohoo! You are now entered into the awards. So what happens next? Well, you get a confirmation email and an invoice to be paid by the deadline. And then once all the entries are in by the deadline date, the judges will start judging and asking the question, did all these entries meet their brief? Be aware that the judges may come back and ask for any additional materials if anything's missing, or if they need access to anything that they can't access. And then when all the judging is completed, you're informed of their decision by email in early September. So that's, the entry day is 31st of July. So it's about a month of time for the judging process. Now, what if your project doesn't win an award? Well, you remember that you will be given feedback as to why. You'll be told why it isn't considered for an award, and you can ask for more comprehensive feedback, which is contained in the judge's report. But if it doesn't win an award, don't see it as a setback. Act on the feedback and enter again. When I entered my project, because I'd never done this process and I didn't understand how it worked, I knew nothing about it, I thought, well, I'll enter and I'll see what happens. I'll give it my best shot, and if I don't win the award, then I'll understand the process and I'll maybe understand what it is I need to do, and I'll learn from it, and then I'll possibly enter again at another point in the future. So I think it's a good way to approach the awards, is to give it a go and see what you're going to learn as a result of the process. Remember that that line at the bottom, the UKTC award system aims to improve technical communication. And so if you see that as applying for the award is helping to improve your skills and your knowledge. Now, what if you win an award? What happens? Well, you have to keep it secret and keep it safe and not tell anybody for a while. In that time, you can buy your party dress or dust off your tuxedo and you prepare your acceptance speech, prepare your any kind of promotional material, prepare what you're gonna say about it on your CV, or any marketing information, or how you're gonna present it in LinkedIn if you're gonna do a post. And the awards will then be announced at the ISTC conference, which is usually around the end of September 2021. Obviously, with the current COVID-19 situation, we've no idea if there's going to be how that conference is going to happen this year. So when I won my award last year, it ended up being an online conference, and so I did not have to wear a party dress, which was disappointing, but never mind. And so then once the awards are announced, you can tell everybody, tell your clients, tell your workmates, put it out on social media. This is your opportunity to boast, and you should go for it. Remember that the award reflects your professionalism, your hard work, your commitment, and your courage in putting the project forward for review, because it takes courage to do it. So then what happens? Well, as J.R. Tolkien said, it is a dangerous business, Frodo, going out your door. You step onto the road, and if you don't keep your feet, there's no knowing where you might be swept off to. And you don't know. It's the start of another part of the adventure. And as a result of winning this award, the Merit Award that I won last year, it took me on a road where I was then asked to do a podcast interview. And then from discussions with that, I've ended up hosting the ISTC podcast for this year. So all kinds of opportunities can come out of the process of applying for an award and winning one. So I would definitely recommend doing it. So what are you waiting for? Information is the website, uktcawards.com. Go there, get the information, find out what it is you have to do. And the deadline is the 31st of July, 2021. Any questions?
Brilliant. Thank you, Amanda. I just want to include at the end a little quick share of some information about the podcast itself, so you can find out where you can go and see it, and also our information for next month's event for anybody wanting to get ready for that.